down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at. They turn it back around. Can't stop me.
Good evening and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course with me tonight is the Techie with Moses, Techie Joe. Hello, darling. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm here. That's about all I've got.
Well, it's been a busy week.
You know, it has been. It's been actually been a busy couple of weeks. And yes, I'm down to the last minute to find my Am I the Asshole? I'm trying.
No, it's okay. We can always use the mouse, the wheel of the mouse.
You know, but no. We've got stickers creating, / printing. So our break room people's got a quick preview of that one as it was happening. I think I finally created enough rainy weather ones for you.
Possibly, really depending.
But yeah.
I was telling him went through 7 books of 2-page rainy stickers to the point that I have no more stickers if it's raining. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, because that was what, 2 pages, or how many was it?
7 books, 2 pages. There's 2 lines, so that's 10 apiece.
All right, so 70 plus rainy days.
Yep, this year.
All right, this year. Hey, yep. Brenda.
All right. So, I don't know. I think since we're already talking about rainy weather, let's talk about possible Wednesday. Ohio, West Virginia, you have been put on notice. You might experience severe weather Wednesday afternoon and evening. The storm.
Why am I almost afraid that what we're actually going to get is going to be like a heat wave?
It's
like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be over 100, and my mind would be like, "Yep,
yeah."
That's kind of how we've been headed. Anyway, so yes, go for it.
Anyway, according to Wheel and Storm Predictor outlines that parts of Ohio and West Virginia are at slight risk for severe weather, or a 2 out of 5 on the weather service scale. Areas along I-70 outlining the migrant risk of severe weather. Set up a cold front is forming along the Rocky Mountains that will gain some steam and push into Ohio Valley late in the day on Wednesday, mixing with high temperatures and potentially a low level of moisture. We could see robust cells of potentially severe thunderstorms. Rain actively could trickle into the morning through Thursday. For the time being, primary concerns in this event is the gust of wind and possible hail formation. Local downpours are possible. Tornado threats are low, but not zero. This is something that we'll be continually monitoring. Stay attuned to your Weather Channel forecast. Weather has been a thing, guys, and I mean a thing here lately, and it's getting worse. Here's the roundup of what I have counted up so far. We have had 3 earthquakes within the past 3 days, hitting Taiwan, Mexico, and I believe there is probably one occurring in...
What was going on with Puerto Rico this weekend?
They got hit by Hurricane Flo. And she wasn't there to reduce their insurance either.
Well, someone had a horrible time of the month. I'm just saying. But no, I was just looking at the extended map, as they're not even talking about Pennsylvania in it, which this shoots into.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tracy, have you been wanting to go, like, I don't know, up to New York? Because I think if you pitch your
Mhm.
room correctly, you
Yeah.
could be there in a hurry.
Yep.
Just saying. Just saying.
But no. So earthquakes have hit Mexico, they hit Taiwan. There have been tidal waves and tsunamis. And of course, flow has been hitting. I
Yes.
swear I do not know who comes up with the names for these. But Puerto Rico is in desperate need. Desperate need.
Yeah. Well, again,
Mm-hmm.
like, whew, ooh, hopefully the response is better this time. Can we
Well,
get
this is something I
actual
found
FEMA?
interesting. Now, comparative, we saw Puerto Rico get hit with a hurricane, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago, and the not president at that time threw paper towels at them.
Yeah. Here's some paper
Before flow
towel.
hit the ground, meaning it touched the shores, President Biden had um, initiated and declared a state of national emergency, initiated and directed FEMA to get their asses down there where they belong.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different response. And this is why he's also dealing with international troubles of the longest living monarch passing and having to get to the funeral because it's expected.
It's a thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, Santa Rosa was the other one. It was a 4.4 in Arizona. Hello, Arizonas. Hope you didn't get shook up too much this morning.
Yeah, really. No, no, it's been some weird weather this year.
It's been some weird weather, but we're going to see more of it. Hello, Rowan Temple of Light. How are you? Hope you're having a blessed day.
Yes. Hello,
Nice
Rowan
to see
Temple of
you in
Light.
the area. But the bigger thing here is, especially with the earthquake that hit the coast of Mexico, we were looking at tsunamis and tidal waves
Mm.
threatening to hit the Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of weather.
yeah. There's been a lot of weather. There's been a lot of flooding that, of course, U.S. News is not reporting. There's been a lot of the weather, a lot of things going on that the U.S. News hasn't even touched, and it's like, can we please? It is bad. Okay, I'm going to go off on a soapbox for a moment. Joe, get prepared to rein me in. But it is bad when the leader of your country dies and you're through national mourning. Okay, and there's plans that have been put in place decades ago on how this is to happen. But you're able to break the news, and your Twitter feed is clicking faster than can be about world events
Mm-hmm.
at the same time as you're broadcasting the Queen's funeral, because your news organization understands that there are more than one thing going on in this world. When the only
Yeah,
thing we can hear about is Kate Middleton's dress.
pretty much. Like no, we. I don't know. I like. Can we all just tune to NPR and just be done with it?
Well, even NPR has been doing a poor job here lately.
Well, that's because NPR has been trying to hang on by a thread.
Well, that's because
That was
NPR.
because because that was part of, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
but if I remember correctly, wasn't that part of like the first year of Trump in office was removing funding for public broadcasting?
I think he
Like
was
there was
trying.
so much bad. I'm sure it got lost in the translation, but like
Yeah.
there was a lot.
Yes.
Um, but I believe that was part of it. because there was cuts to the arts, there was cuts to education, there were cuts to you
I don't
name
know, everything except television. I mean, since he got the antitrust laws removed from, Hollywood.
Oh, he proposed eliminating federal funding for PBS and NPR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. This is 2020. Latest Trump budget eliminates funding for public media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently that yeah. The chilling effect of public broadcasting funding cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of reduction talk. I'm not seeing the clearly, like, they cut our budget by X.
Right.
But yeah, that goes all the way back to 2017. So yeah, about that first year.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's like, and public broadcasting has been behind the 8 ball for I don't know, probably good 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're always short of funds.
Right.
Like, and that's our problem, is we don't respect public broadcasting enough. We don't we don't turn to NPR and PBS and those stations enough, and we don't look to them to be a national news organization.
Well, we don't look for them to be a national news organization, but nor do they act like one.
Well, that's kind of my argument, is they don't have the budget to be one.
Dear, we cover more stories than they do.
Well, fair.
And believe me, we don't have the budget to be a national news organization, but we cover more stories than they are currently covering.
I know. Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, it would be nice,
Right,
if we had a federally funded public news organization that did not spend did not live in the forever, like, shadow of funding cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And especially every time they disagree or some politician disagrees with them.
Right, and I would love to see better news. And Miley Cyrus says we should finally hear her secret 1995 garage album.
Do what?
That's a news story.
Yeah, no. Well, that was, but my point, getting back to the UK and England and all this, is like, BBC has positions it itself
Mm-hmm.
as a completely public entity. Like, it does not entirely cater to anyone's whim.
Right.
It's just BBC.
Right.
And that's kind of where I think we more so need to be, because I don't know. Maybe Natalie would have comments if she were, on standby. But I just mean, it seems like UK news, like BBC, predominantly, doesn't feel like it is catering to anyone's whims.
Right.
Like, it just shows up and here's the news.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of discussion. We are not going to sit here and, like, protect our advertisers. We're not going to protect anyone.
Right. And
Like,
I think that the BBC does an amazing job. The other one is the British news organization. Not British, German news organization.
Mm-hmm.
They cover more than, like, I don't, we don't hear from them, but by golly, they cover a ton of stuff and read people for filth.
Yeah. But are they wrong?
No, I have to say DW is not wrong.
But are they wrong? That's kind of the moment there.
Right.
But yeah. Oh, but no, fun.
Yeah. I mean, It's interesting. It's very interesting just being able to sit now and, because I can remember 6 o'clock, it was news in our house.
Mm-hmm.
And 11 o'clock, it was news in our house. And the quality of the news that I've seen leave is unbelievable.
Right. And that's where a lot of like, and I've made mention of this before in West Virginia, but granted, it's all over the country. Rural news died. It
Mhm.
got bought up. Most likely, if you're watching your local news or you're
Mhm.
reading your local paper, it's owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. It's owned by one of a handful of companies.
Mhm. Clear
Very,
Path Communications is the one that
yeah.
owns Southern West Virginia.
And it becomes an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And they just repeat stories across all the networks and they repeat content across all the papers. And, like, they've divided us up into, pretty large um, um, demographic
Mhm.
groupings. Like, it's a fair swath of the country. Like, you get all the news for this, and you get all the news for that.
Mhm.
And, like, I don't feel like there's more than like 8, 9 zones
Right.
of the US, and just it's this echo chamber. And they just bleh. And
Mhm.
then you get a couple of local articles from the town drunk that they managed to, persuade into, submitting an article
Right.
as an opinion
Right.
for some local personality.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. It's just like, is it just me, or is that what everyone else keeps seeing? Because that's what I see with Bluefield Daily Telegraph. That is what I'm seeing with a couple of the other West Virginia papers. Is
Well, and
it's
that's why
just
I really like it, because I don't get a lot of their news feed.
mhm. Okay.
You know. But I like it when someone sends me some boy articles, WVBOY. One, I get a laugh out of their title. Um, and two, it's some good reporting. Like, I don't know if they're independent or who owns them, if they're Tennessee Broadcasting Network or what, but at least they do some damn good shit.
Right.
Our local weather boy here, and I do mean weather boy because I swear he looks younger than the one before them and before them.
I know. Bless his heart, though. Bless his heart. Because I swear to God, we are one step above Stewie Griffin doing the weather. Because it's about the next level of young. And it's like, I know I'm getting like, and I've had that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just sitting there going, either I'm getting way older than I think I am, or that is the youngest looking
Yeah.
child.
He's like 23, 12, 14, somewhere in there.
Well, I'm figuring about 23, but looks even younger.
Yes, and cannot do a presentation. But no, it's really interesting. This is why we're able to bring you guys diverse articles to different points of views, because we check international news, and I highly recommend you to not read the United States news if you want to know what's going on in the world today. It's like a debate we got into recently with a friend over social media, and they wanted to know what other social medias are there, and I'm like, well, what's the purpose?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck
Well,
with
but
that.
no, like, I remember when WVVA
Mm-hmm.
was just the Dan and Sherry, like, that was 6 p.m., Dan and Sherry.
Right. It's like I remember George Strange, and he switched out co-host all the time, but George Strange would bring you the news.
Well, yeah, and well, for WVVA, it was probably like a good, like, decade and a half almost of my life. It was just, well, probably at least a good decade. It was just Dan and Sherry, Dan and Sherry, Dan and Sherry, Dan and Sherry. They were a married couple, Dan and Sherry McGraw.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch WVVA in the 80s to probably about the mid or early 90s, that's all there was.
Right.
Yeah, and
I
stay
popped
sweet.
bw.com into the chat, guys. If you guys want to go check that out, that's where we get a lot of our stories from. Hello, Pete. We've seen you around before. You better behave.
Well, no, that was Mike.
No, we've heard about Pete too.
Oh, we've heard about Pete too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So, from hurricanes and tidal waves, let's move over to about our special master to Trump's lawyers. You can't have your cake and eat it too, dum-dum.
Duh.
Of course, Mr. Sausage Fingers needs to eat some more cake, I believe. See if we can work on it.
So Judge Raymond Dearie pushed Trump's lawyers repeatedly for not backing up the former president's claim that he declassified the highly sensitive national security related records discovered in his residence. The senior federal judge tasked with reviewing the material seized by the FBI from Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate sharply questioned the former president's attorneys Tuesday during their first hearing in his courtroom. Judge Raymond Dearie repeatedly challenged Trump's lawyers for refusing to back up the former president's claim that he declassified the highly sensitive national security related records discovered in his residence. Quote, my view of it is you can't have your cake and eat it, said Dearie, the special master picked by U.S. District Court Judge Eileen Cannon to vet Trump's effort to reclaim the materials taken by federal investigators. Oh, Trump has argued that the 11,000 documents taken from Mar-a-Lago by the FBI pursuant to a search warrant last month were rightfully in his possession, including about 100 bearing classification markings that suggest they contain some of the nation's most closely guarded intelligence. But Dearie bristled at the effort by Trump's lawyers to resist his request for proof that Trump actually attempted to declassify any of the 100 documents that the Justice Department recovered from his estate. Without evidence from Trump, Dearie said his only basis to judge the classification level of records was the fact that they all bear markings designating them as highly sensitive national security secrets, including some that indicate they contain intelligence derived from human sources and foreign intercepts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's like when your Trump goes Snowden.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
I think that's what he was trying to do. Actually, I think he was trying to sell them, but anyhow.
Okay, so yeah, from the outset of the 40-minute hearing, Dearie signaled that he was determined that Trump's litigation strategy would not interfere with the review Dearie has agreed to do. The judge appeared to be referring to vague assertions of declassification by Trump's side without so far any facts to back that up. The article goes on, but effectively, yeah, that's the big
The quote I like here is, I cannot allow litigation strategies to dictate the outcome of my recommendations to Judge Cannon.
Yeah.
Because he's known to be filing paperwork. That's why they've even called a special master. At all. Like, this is just him trying to judge and drudge this. The problem is he's used to dealing with contractors with a very limited budget. And they will just run out their money and then, not pay them. Trump is now taking on the Department of Justice, who has a budget of over $3.2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Not that likely to work, you dumbass.
Mm-hmm. Effectively.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh. There's a lot of I don't know. I'm just glad that this judge doesn't seem to care much for strategy.
Right.
He's just like, can we just show up and answer the question? I'm not looking for...
This is a she. But Dearie made it clear, however, that, it flips, okay? That he's determined to plow through these documents and get his recommendations to Cannon on the schedule. Okay. So Dearie Judge
Deary is a
G. She
And that's
said that runs through the end of November. We're going to proceed with what I can responsibly dispatch. The veteran judge said we are not going to hurry, but we've got a lot to do in a short period of time. That ain't ever good for a contestant.
no. But no, that's what I'm saying is Deary is definitely showing up and is like, can we just answer the question? Like, can we just not do the thing where you lie to me and you lead me on and you give me, half truths and just we're gonna sit and spin our wheels for like 6 months? Can we not do that?
Yeah.
Just answer it. Just answer it. Just
Where's
prove
your evidence? Give me your
Can you
evidence.
prove it?
Nope. Move on.
Exactly.
All right. I still hope they take him up on espionage charges, and I hope they give him firing squad.
Yes. And hey, Shannon, sorry Facebook was a butt and
Yep.
you didn't get notifications. That sucked. Oh my! Did you sent paper?
Yeah, I sent the 5-second journal to Shannon.
Okay. Alrighty. Good deal. So yeah.
So yeah. She wanted a guided journal, and I liked the 5-second one, so I sent it to her.
Hey, there you go. That's a good one.
That's good. All right. Let's jump over to this article I sent you. It's from NPR.
Yeah, I saw. We trash NPR one moment. Well, we didn't really trash them.
We didn't trash them. We just told them they needed better reporting.
All right. So why your bad boss will probably lose the remote work wars. So my good friend has a bad boss for obvious reasons. My friend asked me to keep both of them anonymous. His boss is an older Gen Xer who had an illustrious career in the nonprofit world and climbed the ranks to a managerial position. He's hardworking, sharp, and exceptional at the parts of his job that don't involve managing people. But management, unfortunately for my friend, is just not his forte. I could get into the gory details about why this boss is so bad. His self-absorption, his lack of mentorship, his passive aggressiveness, his calls, texts, and emails during vacation and time off, as if he's actively protesting any semblance of a work-life balance. Girl, I know this boss. No.
I'm going to say, I know this boss.
Like, whoo. But the real issue is how this boss has handled his organization shift to remote work. He was never cool with it, even during the height of the pandemic. He's had a hard time letting go, trusting his employees, and giving them autonomy. He's the type that checks to see whether your Slack work status dot is green from 9 to 6. Even though my friend often works nights and weekends and has a solid record of getting results for his team, it doesn't seem to matter. His boss really cares about the theater of productivity, not just actual productivity. It's kind of weird because his office is full of go-getters who went to good schools, have solid resumes, work long hours, and have clearly joined this organization in the first place because they're dedicated to its mission. They don't need a babysitter. Recently, as the pandemic has become less of a societal concern, this boss has been agitating for the team to ditch their hybrid work arrangement and return to the office full time. The organization's leadership now seems poised to do just that, reverting their office back to how it operated before the pandemic, and my friend and his team are kind of freaking out. Many are considering quitting. They're not alone. In a new study, economists Savat Exoy and Jose Maria Barrero, Nicholas Bloom, Stephen Davis, Mateus Dawes, and Pablo Zarte surveyed tens of thousands of workers across 27 countries. They found that more than a quarter of all workers who currently work from home at least one day per week say they will quit or seek a new remote-friendly job if their employers mandate a full-time return to the office. Oh, the remote wars. Nicholas Bloom, one of the co-authors of this new study, is an economist at Stanford University. Over the last few years, Bloom has been a machine pumping out some of the best research we have on remote work today. The biggest battle in the remote world, in the remote wars between bosses and office workers, Bloom says, was fought back in 2020. Everyone wanted more days than their employers were committing to after the pandemic. Bloom says that battle was just decisively won by employees. The employees routed employers. Employers basically had to shift. So yeah. But for the most part, and Bloom says, the American office world has settled into a new equilibrium where most office workers are getting what they want when it comes to their ability to work remotely. Bloom and his team have found that roughly half of Americans can logistically do their jobs from home. On average, he says, these workers want to work remotely about 2.5 days per week. And that, again, on average, is exactly what they're getting. But just as the Battle of Gettysburg forever changed the trajectory of the Civil War, yet did not decisively end it, the Battle of 2020 did not bring the remote wars to an armistice either. The skirmishes continue. One prominent general in the anti-remote army has been Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. Earlier this month, General Fink sent in the cavalry, arguing on Fox Business that remote work was so bad for worker productivity that forcing employees back into the office would result in rising productivity that will offset some of the inflationary pressures we're seeing in the economy.
Yeah, we are seeing inflationary pressures in the economy, and here's why. One.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Bye.
And delete.
And delete.
Bibbity boppity boop.
You know, like, I really try, to have hope.
Yeah.
That like the people who come in will be decent and will just be able to get through the show without the bullshit.
Well, that's why we have the bibbity boppity beep.
I know, but we have to stop what we're doing to go bippity boppity beep them.
But that's what they're looking for. Anyhow, here's why it is. Gas is so high because people aren't buying it.
Basically.
Restaurants are losing money because people aren't going out to eat. Why? Because they can eat lunch at home.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Caitlin brings up, I hate how a lot of offices are like hybrid working schedules aren't working and we're going back to normal office. It does work, asshats. You just hate how you can't micromanage your employees.
Exactly. Yes, Caitlin.
I'm just going to put that up. Like, that needs to be read by everyone.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing. They will find at the end of the year the bottom line is cheaper.
Well, like, that's just the beginning of the cornucopia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's start with, if you didn't have to justify your property, plant, and equipment, and, all the computers you have on lease, and all of the footprint you booked out into an office space to put everyone into a cube farm.
Right.
If you quit justifying that and realize that, we could downsize this a lot.
Right.
And like, I'm sorry if the C-suite wants to get together and have a little coffee club. I think y'all can do that.
Right.
In the office, that's fine. Like, you could set up an amazing executive suite.
Right.
Like, y'all just hang out, enjoy each other. You're going to go off and play golf anyway. What does it matter? Like, hi. Let's just be real. Y'all aren't working 40 hours a week. We all know it.
Right. But, the other part of this, and what I find interesting is they looked at coders, who I thought historically most coders work remote. And they found that the coders that work remote produce 35% more coding from home.
Yes. When you don't have to constantly get interrupted in the office by some jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's always some jerk.
Mm-hmm.
That wants you to do something else. Whatever it is, it's something else. And you do an entire day of that. You go from meeting to meeting to stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much coding you can get done. It's a very intense mental effort that goes into coding.
Mm-hmm.
And you break that concentration and you lose hours.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about a simple, stupid conversation can cost you hours of time. You can't, you have to get away from people to be able to code efficiently.
Right.
But we have this whole managerial concept. And I'm not saying, like, here's the thing, that we keep talking about management in the US like it's this thing that you can distill into a very simple set of strategies and team building exercises, and then apply them, one size fits all to the universe. And then we'll all be more productive. Okay, we've gotten we can't get more productive.
Right.
Like, we hit the limits of productivity capacity somewhere around 2010, if not sooner. Since then, all we've been able to do is micro improvements.
Well, and here's the thing that I've preached forever. Because, yes, I've been work from home for 20 plus years now, in one capacity or another. And I've found, even when I've done non-psychic jobs, yes, Aeson has non-psychic jobs he does remotely. The remote workers can meet longer, they can do more things, they can handle more things, they can do more concentration, they are more productive at home. It is easier for the people that are remote and easier for the company.
Oh, well, that went well.
I'm sure Vlad knocked something down.
Yes. Vlad is currently going through the house, I think, Gone with the Wind, or Went with the Wind style, for those of you who are Carol Burnett fans. But anyhow.
Alexa, turn off Command Center 1.
Oh.
There we go.
But yeah, no. So welcome back to concentration.
Yep. My immediate super says he's like, there are two, the other two have problems wrapping their mind around the fact that newer workers really give no fucks about what they think workers should be doing when the job says that their job is this. He gets it, and he does, because we have grown up into an economy that it doesn't matter the salary. We've gone with bad salaries. It doesn't matter the hours and the time off. What really matters in the end is something very shocking. How much time do I get?
Yeah.
What am I trading you for?
Yeah.
Am I trading you to babysit me, or am I trading you to produce for you?
Yeah. Well, moreover, I think that as a whole, we've kind of gotten tired of make work jobs.
Right.
And this idea that we're going to be told that, if we don't like it, go elsewhere, and then just continue to sit there.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, you use the fuck out of that fear tactic.
Exactly.
Like, you burnt that bridge, dudes.
Right.
Because it's usually dudes. It's always been a man in management to me that has said the words, it's never been a woman. None of the women I've ever worked for have ever started this shit.
Right.
But if you don't like it, find somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, there you go.
Right.
Like, no, like, that's not a threat anymore.
Right.
Like, you know, if someone else wants my job, please let them have it.
Exactly.
You know, like, I think that's where everyone ended up. I know that's where I ended up after 4 years, 10 months, and 9 days.
Well,
But,
I think that's the point that the workers have gotten to is we can change jobs. There are companies out there that will pay me more than you give me.
oh yeah. Or there is another way to make money.
Right.
There are other things I can do.
Right.
There are other places I can be. There are other other industries that perhaps I fit better in.
Right.
And I think the other part, like the next, battle in this front is getting employers to just wrap their heads around keeping employees that are a bad fit.
Mm-hmm.
Only makes the business worse.
Right. And I think that's where we will see the dropping and the cutting
Mm-hmm.
of jobs that are unnecessary.
Well, I think we'll see that, but I think we've also got to sit there and just like have this come to Jesus
Mm-hmm.
with business schools. That's where the genesis of this goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Is in business schools, you need at least one class dedicated to the concept
Right.
that if you're starting a business and you're hiring employees, find out what the maximum amount of unemployment insurance is for your business, and then just accept you're going to pay it.
Right.
You're going to pay it. You're going to pay that amount. It is a fixed business expense. It is the cost of doing business.
Mm-hmm. And I have seen Tokyo's job market talking about things like self-serve convenience stores and whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you imagine walking in, you feed in, you pick the items you want out of a machine, it drops them into a bag, you develop your cash into the bag, into the machine, and you walk out.
Yeah, it's called a trip to Walmart.
Exactly.
I mean, basically.
Yeah.
And it's the Amazon store model.
Right.
As well as Tokyo's long had, they have a love affair with vending machines.
Yes.
Like Asian countries just have this love of vending machines. Mm-hmm. Like China loves vending machines, Japan loves vending machines. Like there's a lot of.
But those were developed not only out of a love for vending machines, but them not having workers to work convenience stores.
Well, that and the need. There is a public need.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, can we just please get like cigarette vending machines back?
Yeah.
I don't mean drop quarters in it, pull the thing, and just like you can be a 4-year-old and buy a pack of cigarettes. No. But we have,
right,
some options there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. We can do better than this. We can do better.
Well, speaking of that, we need to take a break.
We do.
All right, I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dottie the Psychic, and I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not wearing any makeup. Well, one reason is to irritate my social media manager, Aeson Knight. Hi, Aeson. The other reason is because I like to get to the naked truth about what it means to be a neurodivergent LGBT person with psychic abilities. I've got vlogs, blogs, and podcasts and videos all related to trying to live my best life and helping witches and bitches do the same thing. So, you can check all that out and get a reading from Dottie the Psychic at DOTTIEthepsychic.com. Safe travel and much profit to you.
Do you have a cute pet? We know you do. Each week, Tracy Vann chooses from submitted photos a featured reader for her Facebook page and provides a tarot reading. Your adorable pet cat, dog, rabbit, goat, chicken, snake, or more could be her next featured reader. Visit tracybann.com, TracyBann.com, and click Featured Reader to submit. We look forward to seeing your pet next.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here, and I am here to tell you how to get in contact with me and a little bit about what I do. I am the High Priestess that works with shadow work to help you grow and heal. And I work with access bars, Reiki, I do power forms. I'm recently getting into crystal healing, sound therapy as well. So you can go to Lady Gwendolyn Healing, that is LadyGwendolynHealing.com. Book your appointment with me. I do in person, I do over the phone, I do over Zoom. We can do that as well. My main goal is to help you grow and heal, because I've been there, I'm still going through it, and I let my strength help guide you. See you soon.
Hey everybody, Natalie here from The Pendulum's Path. If you are in need of guidance, direction, spiritual connection, healing, or more, you have come to the right place. I have worked as a psychic and a medium for over 3 years, connecting people from all over the world with their loved ones, giving them insight and guidance into their current situations, their past healings, their blockages, and what they need to know in order for them to have a better future. It would be my absolute honor if you would come to my website at www.thependulumspath.com. Visit my shop. I have a whole bunch of crystals, oils, balms, mystery boxes, and more. And visit my services. I offer 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute sessions. I also have email readings available if you're not comfortable with the one-on-one session with me, or if you just want to try me out. I encourage you to come visit me at the Pendulum's Path, and let's get you back on the right track today.
All right, welcome back. And Mary's bringing up unemployment and how it varies from state to state, but at the same time, people are literally walking out of jobs and getting the job the next day, if not the next hour, before they even walk out and going, oh, I get what I want. I want to work remotely. Also, I think gig economy is kicking it up. I mean, Fiverr's having the best year of their life.
Like, I think that's going to be another front, is I'm waiting to see a gig economy union.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like...
Guild. We want a guild.
Okay, fine, a guild, but functionally to provide the benefits of a union.
Right. But see, the difference between a union and a guild is a guild sets standards. And,
yeah.
Okay, a union fights and demands negotiation. So a union wouldn't work, a guild has to work.
True. But no, because a lot of this is, I think a lot of it is great ideas and it can be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also opportunities in a lot of this to be horribly taken advantage of.
Right.
And trying to navigate the difference,
right,
is really the struggle.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I have high hopes. High hopes. But yeah.
Yeah. Now there's an interesting suit coming out of Boston.
Oh yeah, you brought that one up over the break.
I brought it up over the break because it's tying into another story. This is another, let's see who makes it to the courthouse first.
Oh, yeah. So immigrant rights advocates file suit against Florida officials for sending migrants to Martha's Vineyard?
Right.
A Boston legal group on Tuesday sued Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and others involved in the relocation of almost 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard last week. So Now so many Facebook posts are making sense. I couldn't get enough out of them to figure out what the hell people were talking about to even begin to look. So a Boston legal group on Tuesday sued Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and others involved in the relocation of almost 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard last week, alleging the officials ran an illegal scheme that exploited vulnerable immigrants with false promises of cash payments and job opportunities. The class action lawsuit said the relocation was a premeditated, fraudulent, and illegal scheme centered on exploiting the vulnerability of immigrants who fled to the United States in a desperate attempt to protect themselves and their families from gang, police, and state-sponsored violence. The lawsuit was filed by Lawyers for Civil Rights in U.S. District Court in Boston on behalf of the migrants and Allen's Americans, a network of immigrant-led support organizations across the country. It named as defendants DeSantis, seen as a frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination in 2024, and other Florida officials, along with 5 unidentified accomplices.
Right. So that was hitting at the same time as sheriff investigates DeSantis' migrant flight as attorneys sue, claiming trip was manipulative. Now, this Texas sheriff said Monday that he has opened a criminal investigation into Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis' migrant flights to Martha's Vineyards as a stunt to draw criticism from Democrats and even some Republicans. DeSantis defends what he calls protecting the border policy.
No, protest of border policies.
Yeah, protest of border policy.
All right.
Braxton County Sheriff, and I cannot pronounce his name, announced the probe on Monday night, saying that his office believes the migrants were shuttled to Massachusetts Island on September 14th under the lieu of false pretenses, which DeSantis denies. What irritates me the most about this case is that we have 48 people that are already on hard times, right? Slazier said that in a press conference, they are here legally in our country. At that point, they have every right to be where they are, and I believe they were preyed upon.
All right, so immigration attorneys working with some of the asylum seekers told ABC News that the migrants were given misleading information, including brochures about benefits they could receive in Massachusetts. A civil rights group representing at least 3 of the affected migrants on Tuesday filed a class action lawsuit against DeSantis and other Florida officials, claiming their clients were lured under false pretenses as part of a political stunt. The governor has defended the migrant drop-off as a protest of President Joe Biden's immigration policies as border encounters remain at a record high. DeSantis has repeatedly insisted the migrants volunteered to be taken to Martha's Vineyard from Texas. Why wouldn't they want to go, given where they were? He said during an appearance on Sean Hannity's Fox News show on Monday night, they were in really, really bad shape.
Yeah, but this goes even deeper. Because he's also looking to see if this operation is not also connected to the 53 migrants that were left in a travel trailer and suffocated. Now, granted, this is still under political investigation.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this will be interesting to follow. This is very deadly. This is very nerve-wracking. I think he's very upset. DeSantis thought that he would pull a stunt and get backlash, outrage about how these rich people at Martha's Vineyard, turn their back on these immigrants. He's also possibly pulling a stunt of sending them to Delaware. The problem is Martha's Vineyard's Democratic caucus said, "Oh, not a problem. Activate emergency shelters, align these things. We're already doing this." Because
Right. And then turn around and get pissed at the asshole
Yeah,
who pulled the stunt.
exactly.
And go, what the hell were you doing? Like, because this was not a coordinated effort, which it should have been.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna do that,
Right.
it needs to be coordinated. You do not drop 50 people off in Martha's Vineyard with no one knowing they're showing up.
Right.
Because that's fundamentally where the stunt starts.
Right.
Is DeSantis knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't communicate to anyone else. This was supposed to be using human beings like you'd use a goat.
Right.
Like, as in, like, old, TV trope of stealing the other team's mascot.
Mm-hmm.
Or, turning, like, a wild animal loose in their gym.
Right.
This is how DeSantis treated these people.
What?
Was to bust 50, or to force 50 of them to go under false pretenses, drop them in Martha's Vineyard, and then be like, good luck. Look what we did. That's what he did. That's what he did. This was like a great big giant joke. He's fucking around with people's lives.
Right.
And it's all funny and a political...
On the back of the taxpayers' dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the back of the taxpayers' dollars. $950,000 to an aviation company on Monday for the relocation program of unauthorized aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Florida residents. Your governor is kidnapping people in Texas and transferring them to Martha's Vineyard on your backs.
Mm-hmm.
Your backs.
Yeah.
Now, I do not like my governor. Governor, no justice, lay justice. Baby dog's a better governor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure too many working people in this state would be happy for him to spend almost $1 million to kidnap people.
Well, and it goes a step further and a little more insidious. So typically migrants granted humanitarian parole and looking to file an asylum claim have mandatory court hearings scheduled in locations where they have said they have family or at courts closest to where they were processed by immigration authorities. That means that migrants who went unknowingly or under false pretenses to Martha's Vineyard are at risk of missing those court dates, which may result in them being fast-tracked for deportation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now these lawyers in Boston have to quickly move to get everything reorganized.
Mm-hmm. So that they don't inadvertently get deported as a result of DeSantis' stunt.
Right. But no, apparently the next stunt, or the stunt that's being poured off as we're on air, is sending them to Delaware. To President Biden's summer home. Yeah, this is the crap your governor's doing on your backs. And you wonder why your roads are down. You wonder why your children aren't getting new books. You wonder why your schools are falling apart in Florida. Look to your governor and what he's spending his money on. By the way, today it was Register to Vote Day. I hope that everyone in my voice area is registered to vote. And I'm going to continue to say, vote blue and fire the idiots. If they are wolves in sheep's clothing, I imagine you need a pink slip. I swear I'm going to have Joe create me pink slips so I can just start passing them out through the screen.
I mean, there's a lot of stunts you can pull and make a point.
Right.
Don't fuck with people's lives.
Yeah.
Can we all just say that out of this whole, Trump children in cages nightmare,
right, the U.S. may be fired up on war crimes about?
Yeah. Can we not just all agree that maybe fucking with people who are already in the middle of a bad situation,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how you slice it,
Right.
no matter how you slice it, are
Mm-hmm.
already in the middle of a bad situation. Can we just not do that?
Right.
Like, I don't know, act like a human being.
Behave like
Pretend
human.
you represent this country. Pretend for 5 minutes that
Right.
you know how to be a decent human being and stop fucking with people.
Right. And, people don't like my view of this, but here's the view of this.
Mm-hmm.
We drive through this town. We deal with people in this industry. I have very close friends that work in this industry. We have housemates that work in this industry. Fast food right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get workers. Begging for workers, working short. One of our housemates literally worked 56 hours in a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Fast food.
Yeah.
And they're still short-staffed.
Mm-hmm.
And I like him and taught him, if I owned a restaurant today, I would drive my happy little ass down to Texas, go, all right, boys and girls, who wants to work? Let's go.
I don't even think it's a necessity to have to drive out of the area. It just kind of goes back to get smart about this shit.
Yeah.
Like, because that's unfortunately what is, because in looking at the fast food restaurants, and yes, I know it has become because you hear it, like fast food workers talk.
Right.
Side note, in case you never knew this, fast food workers talk to each other.
Uh-huh.
They're all friends. They
Uh-huh.
all know someone. Like, if you work at McDonald's, you know people who work at Arby's and Burger King and you name it. Whatever the restaurant is. And it doesn't just have to be fast food. Any restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Any restaurant. You know someone who works there.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone hears, oh, such and such just went to $12 an hour. Such and such just went to $13 an hour. Such and such is still at $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening is everyone keeps jumping for the money.
Right.
Because here's the humor. Here's the humor. It's all the same thing. I don't care what restaurant you work at. It's pretty much all the same thing. There's a few shining, beaconing examples of a nice, intelligent, family-run, thinks about their employees, doesn't be a dick restaurants.
Right.
Few shining examples. And then the rest of them are still stuck in, like, we're going to give you next week's schedule the day before. What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Right.
Like, people have lives and stuff and events and things going on, and you can't get them a schedule a week in advance so that y'all can sort out issues instead of as they happen.
Right.
Before they happen. Like, treat your employees decently. Pretend that you care about their lives outside of work.
Right. But what I'm saying is we've had multiple stories, and I've seen it in this area. My preferred restaurant in Flatwoods closes at 3 p.m. because they can't get staff. We have people trying to come into this country and will work a job. They don't care the job. They will work it.
True.
Our food prices are up because they can't get to the fields to pick the food so that it can get put into the factories because Americans won't work those jobs. That is proven.
Nope.
And we got an idiot here of a governor taking taxpayer dollars that should be going to fixing roads and welfare and handling his people, pulling stunts, and lying to people.
Right. Yeah, basically. But no, all in all, it's
and the
just
federal
one of those
government
things.
not doing shit about it because he's a governor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a small town cop to step up and go, might want to check you out for there's 53 smothered to death in a U-Haul.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, there's it's not just that simple. And here's the thing: is any of us can talk about politics in a way that makes it all sound simple, and some of it is like this, pretty fucking simple. Don't
Yeah.
do this. Don't do
Well,
this.
it's human trafficking, and it is against the law in
Yeah.
at the federal level, at the state level, at the international level.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
human trafficking.
but it goes along with the exact same thing that we're seeing all across the country when we start talking about homelessness.
Yes.
Is that cities are fixing the problem with bus tickets.
Yeah.
Cities are fixing the problem with aggressive architecture, or I forget what it is. I think it's called aggressive architecture. It's something like that. Basically, where, instead of a nice, pretty park bench that, oh my God, someone who's homeless might sleep on, we put a bar down the middle, and we put like a pay quarter system, or with retractable spikes. Like we put spikes on all kinds of surfaces and slant them in ways that you can lean against it to get a little rest, but you're not going to stay there. It's not comfortable. You can't lay on it. You can't sleep on it. And effectively, we try to push, we make homelessness as uncomfortable as humanly possible.
Right.
Not that it wasn't already as uncomfortable as humanly possible.
Well, and this brings up another issue to me that drives me insane. We are driving through, I don't know where you took me about 2 days ago. Oh, we had to go down 61.
Yeah.
Down through 61. Property after property after property that is now state-owned. Property after property after property of beautiful homes now falling apart because they're state-owned. The state has took them in lieu of taxes. We have people we have companies that need employees in this area that cannot find employees that will work, that will show up and do a job.
Well, that's if they're state-owned. Here's the problem, though. A lot of these properties are getting taken for back taxes. And they're not, and we just saw this change in West Virginia. I'm waiting to see how that goes. But what ends up happening is you end up with speculative buying. Is you end up with investors out of state. Like, always a problem for West Virginia, but investors out of state who speculatively buy these back tax properties.
Right.
And then do nothing with them. They don't mow the lawn. They're not trying to rent them out. They're just holding on to them. They bought them at bargain basement dirt floor prices, and for the back taxes, and they're just going to hold them, tons of them, and wait until the housing market gets desperate enough to approach them about this property and sell it for a mint, like 10 times what it's worth. Or they just let it go for their own back
taxes. But what I'm saying is because there's 18-month period that the state actually owns the property before it's gone to auction. Okay, so 18 months. That could be a lot of time. If immigration would get their ass moving, we give them that proper funding and the proper people to do some paperwork. Okay. We have companies that need employees. We have citizenship that's a bunch of fucking paperwork. And we have housing that's needed. And we've got a larger homeless population than we've ever had before.
Not to mention, can we just please bring back Job Score?
Job Corps? Yes.
Yeah.
Can we also bring back...
Well, because here's what I'm saying is, if you look around the state of West Virginia, just the state of West Virginia, like, hi, can we not find money somewhere to fix housing? Like, the number of seniors that are trying to live in 2022 in West Virginia with all of the climate changes that we have had in homes without air conditioning. that are struggling to get through simple home maintenance, that they're on the brink of losing their homes, that they are losing their homes due to the high costs of their deteriorating homes.
Right.
Can we not just find money and throw it at this problem and people at this problem who can earn good wages?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Megan.
Hey, Megan.
Can we not throw some people and some money and fix up some of the housing? And moreover, can we not? We have areas throughout West Virginia that are in decline. We also have a ton of areas in West Virginia that are declined, period. It doesn't go any further. There's no further decline it can go into. It's vacant, except for the people who just can't get out. It's falling apart. Unemployment is rampant. There is no income. And we have people trapped there because they can't sell their homes.
Right. But what I'm saying is, this is a novel idea. We have vacant homes and places that need work. We have just a fucking stack of paperwork and move them in here. Believe me, I ran, God, it's now 20. Let's see, I've been in relationships for 21 years. So 21 years ago, I ran a bar in Greensboro, North Carolina, that was also a restaurant. And I'll tell you things that didn't occur in my restaurant. And then I'll tell you what most of my staff was. Things that didn't occur in my restaurant. My restaurant didn't run short of people. My staffing was top notch. My labor was low. My food was good. My restaurant was clean. My bar ran without a problem.
And Megan, we love and miss you guys too.
Yeah, we love and miss you too. Come get your chair.
I still haven't talked to her about the chair, so we'll just do that now, real quick. So Megan, do you remember the gooseneck armed rocking chair from my grandmother's house? You had said something about wanting it, and we were in a rush when we got everything ready to sell the house. We needed to move out, and we were trying to get anyway. I went ahead and grabbed the chair for you because otherwise, yes, that chair. I just have to get it to you. Unfortunately, the pandemic kind of effed all that up for us. And my other half is ready to beat me with the chair, repeatedly and in horrible ways. I think he honestly just sits back there in the mornings and his wake up routine is to figure out how much bodily harm he could cause, new and inventive ways. So if we can get together,
I'll even cook for you as long as you're vaccinated. Come get the chair. I need my recliner.
Yes, he needs a recliner. So we have it. We just have I swear to God, the things that went on, because it literally was we cleaned out the house and it was okay, honey, we'll sort it out at the holidays, and then it didn't happen. And then we got into the panini. And then, it just, I don't know, it didn't happen.
Fine, we'll go out to dinner then.
Yeah, we'll go out to dinner. But yes, I have your chair.
Yes, the chair is waiting. It has been covered. It has been sitting in my living room where my recliner goes.
Yeah, although the dog is going to be so mad.
That's fine. He can sit in my recliner and it won't bounce the walls at 5 o'clock in the morning when he does his patrol of the house.
I know, right? Oh my goodness. So, well, thank you. We think we're hilarious. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. But no, the solution is easy. I do not understand why this is a hard solution. Why are we paying politicians to come up with common sense behaviors? Businesses need workers. We don't have enough workers. We don't have enough workers. We can't get people to go for it. No,
But
happy Aeson.
Happy Aeson. He'll be thrilled. Like, there was a hot moment. I didn't think we were making it to 4 years over that chair. Oh, sorry. It's just been one of those things. Like, it's on the list. I swear to God, it's on the list. It's like, give me 5 free minutes. I will message her. Oh, but
all right. Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing Are You an Asshole?
Absolutely.
Welcome back, Goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month, in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service, or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I provide a blended reading consisting of mediumship, psychic, and tarot cards. A reading from me can cover any guidance you need from relationships with your partner or your family, spiritual, financial, any questions you may need clarity on. If you would like to book an appointment with me, check out my website, tracyvan.com. That's TracyVann.com. I have bookings from 15 to 60 minutes you may choose from. That helps if you just have a quick question, need an answer, or if you're looking for a reading in more depth, I'm here to provide the guidance and clarity for you. Let's just figure it out. Bye.
Hi, Techie Joe here. I work with Aeson Knight and some of the best psychics in West Virginia to create amazing live streams and podcasts for the Psychic Coffee Shop Network. Together, we brew up great content discussing news, events, hot topics, and more, all from a psychic perspective. On the Psychic Coffee Shop, we interview amazing authors in the metaphysical realm. Coffee and Tea combines Aeson with Tracy, Dottie, Natalie, or Lady Gwendolyn for the good and the bad of being a psychic. Shameless Self-Promotion with Dottie the Psychic talks to leading and emerging YouTubers and business owners in our community. Mountain Bears brings you the latest in LGBT news and politics. The Psychic That Plans answers the question of, well, how a psychic plans. Plus, we're live on air. We take your comments and your questions, including psychic advice questions. Check out our amazing programming, book an appointment with top psychics, and find out all the wonderful things we have to offer at PCSBnetwork.com today.
Hi, I'm Aeson Knight. I provide tarot readings covering everything from love and relationships to your life questions and your spiritual answers. And also, I provide a lot of guidance in finances and divorces and all those relationship problems. So, if you'd like to get a reading from me privately, not on air, you can feel free to do so by visiting aesonknight.com and booking your appointment. I also provide on-demand services, so if your life is a little chaotic, you can go ahead and click that call now button there on my site. Great for a quick answer question. All right, guys, back to the show. Enjoy. And welcome back. All right. So, are you an asshole?
I don't know. Though I love the segue.
Uh-huh.
Well done. Well played. Am I the asshole for giving my friend a necklace that my husband gave me and refusing to ask for it back? My friend didn't have a necklace to go with her dress, so I offered her one of mine. She kept telling me how much she loved the necklace, so I told her she could keep it as I never wear it anyway. I gave her the necklace 4 months ago, but she recently wore it to another party, and my sister-in-law mentioned how I had a necklace that looked exactly like that. My friend told her that I had given it to her, and that my sister-in-law made a comment about how that was nice of me. I thought that was the end of it, but she told all of my in-laws and my husband. Now my husband is demanding I get the necklace back, and everybody is angry at me, and I don't understand what the big deal is. I've told him I can't ask for the necklace back since my friend clearly loves it so much, but he said I have a week to get it back, or he would get it back himself, and that he would think twice before giving me anything from now on. Am I the asshole? I feel like this one needs more information.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could see how this could go a couple of different ways. Like, if this was, I mean, granted, you regifted,
Mm-hmm.
technically, you regifted a present from your husband to a friend. Apparently, of a necklace you didn't particularly like all that much. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the basis of the situation. I don't know. Some people are really picky about jewelry, and it's a very personal thing. It's a very personal gift between spouses, and it's not something that they would ever part with, even if they think it's hideous
Mm-hmm.
or they don't want to wear it. It doesn't fit their style. It doesn't go with their stuff. It's a necklace.
See, but I've gone through here, and luckily OP has been responsive, very responsive to comments, and it was just a gift.
Yeah, like, because it doesn't sound like it was.
It's not a family heirloom, but it is apparently expensive.
Oh. I mean, are they affluent enough for that to be a thing? Like, is she, like, kind of, a little spendthrifty?
She's
like,
very much like, I don't buy myself anything, so he buys it for me.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So she didn't even know what it was worth.
Right.
Still oh, God. Oh, God.
I think she's the asshole.
Kind of the asshole, yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful with that. Like, because again, jewelry is one of those things you got to be careful with. Sometimes things don't look like they're worth much.
Right.
And then you find out, oh, yes, they are.
Right. And then there's some things that aren't worth much, but they're highly important to the person.
Yeah, they're highly sentimental. It's very important to them for some reason.
Yeah, because she just says, gave it to me before some party. Doesn't say what the party is. But, it's kind of like, everyone for probably the past 5 years have seen this one. This necklace.
Mm-hmm.
I only take it off when I'm tanning.
Yep.
And even put an extender on it, but now I don't have to use the extender.
I know.
I think even though you act like you wouldn't be upset, you get a little grumpy when you don't see it on me after, I take it off when I'm tanning and put it back on, but like if I forget it in the gym bag, you get a little.
Well, no, not really. I'm just kind of like, oh no.
Yeah.
What happened to your necklace? Like, if you told me that it got broken, I'd be like, well, that's okay. Right. If you decided to give it to someone else because you thought, hey, they need a really cool pride necklace,
mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
Because what effectively happened is I bought it for me, and it never really worked out for me.
Right.
So it's like, here's what happened with that necklace. I bought that probably back in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And I wore it for a hot minute, but it was one of those necklaces that it never fit right. It never laid right. It never worked for me at all.
Right.
And it just kind of went in my jewelry box and it just sat there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never could make it happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of ended up going through the jewelry box, or we went through the jewelry box at one point. It wasn't like you invaded the space. But like we happen to be in the jewelry box, and you're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's this necklace that I never wear, because it doesn't work for me."
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not super sentimental. It means more to you and always has than it ever has to me.
Right.
Like, so
But
it wouldn't be like one of those things. Like if we were to break up tomorrow, like I don't expect to see the necklace back. Like I've given up all claim to it. It found its owner.
But say I done that with the Mexican silver, I think you'd be a little pissed.
But that's mine. Like there's a big difference between giving away stuff that is decidedly mine. Like no, that's mine. And like to me, I'm kind of the perspective that's like, well, that's a choice you can make. It's yours now. It found its owner. Versus like, you know, the flip side of that. Where it's like, no, that bracelet is mine. It's from my trip to Mexico. It's really important to me, and I got so horribly price gouged.
No, I'm talking about the Mexican silver chain that you won't wear. You've worn it 3 times.
Well, there's a few different chains. Well, because there's a bracelet.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't wear a lot of jewelry all the time. Like, hi, I'm wearing a tank top.
I know.
Like I'm not normally dressed to go out, but when I get dressed to go out, I will wear some, like, I like to have my nice pieces.
Right, and that's
but I still call it different. Yeah.
That's his point. Me, I like to have a ring. I have my earrings. I have my necklaces. I'm still looking for my bracelet. When we find that bracelet, I'm buying it. I have one bracelet that I love wearing, but it's gotten too fragile, so I've got to get another one. Like, I understand this husband's point of view, and yes, you are the asshole.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of bad choices strung together.
Right.
Nice little jewelry pun there. But yeah, no. Be very careful in the future. Like, just assume that you need to talk to your husband or your spouse. It's a good idea for anyone, really. If you're in a relationship and someone has gifted you jewelry and you are married to them, you are dating them, ask.
Right.
Would you mind?
Furthermore, it isn't yours, meaning it's not on your credit card. That means it stays with you because you don't know the importance of it.
Right. The importance or the price. Because, again, some things are...
Yeah.
It may not be all that pretty, but it's worth a lot of money.
Well, I was watching this antique show earlier today because I knew that you were going for this one.
Oh, okay.
And this dude got this jewelry box that was like 1920s jewelry box. And there was a watch in there that, I'm sorry, I love Art Deco, but this was godforsakenly ugly. Yeah,
there's some Art Deco that is.
Yeah, it was worth $5,000. He paid $25 for the jewelry box. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. It's insane, the things that have value and the things that don't.
Well, or a button that came off of a uniform from Canada, World War II. It's like $300 and made out of real gold. And I was like, damn. Yeah, no, that's one of those things, like, y'all, like, seriously, like, there is some hidden treasures out there that, like, people don't know, like, and it more so comes up when it's, like, grandma's jewelry box, and it looks like junk. It's old, it's tarnished, she hasn't worn it in a few decades, she quit polishing it years ago, it just kind of, like, it was her jewelry box, and it has jewelry in it. As they do. And then you find out that no, that gaudy little piece of jewelry or that plain, simple looking thing, it can have value. It can. Everything has value to the right person.
Right.
Moving on into relationship advice.
Oh, yes. All right. So, difference between mothering and caring for my boyfriend. Me and my boyfriend are both in our 20s. He is 3 years older than me, and we've been together for 1.5 years. I love him and I want to show him in every way I can, but I've been told that sometimes I mother him too much, which can cause him to not see me as his girlfriend or partner anymore. A few examples of things I do. I cook for him. I like to bring him food and snacks in the bedroom. I give him back rubs and foot rubs. I always bring him snacks or drinks from my work or ask him if he wants anything. Whenever he is staying over for a longer period of time, I do his laundry too. I buy him gifts. This is my first serious relationship, and I'm not sure if what I'm doing is bare minimum in a relationship or if I'm mothering him too much. I am naturally caring and nurturing, so I'm happy to do all this for him. But I'd like to know what I can change if this is too much and unhealthy. Any advice or help is appreciated. Thank you.
Here's my advice: keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any major problems there.
Yeah. See,
Like-
and this is that crap that gets on my nerves. And granted, recently we had to have a discussion in the house.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, last night, because someone brought up cooking in my kitchen, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, nobody cooks in my kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah. But,
Mhm.
there are things that, I cook, I clean. I've released some of the cleaning just because of my schedule and because of my health. But those are things I do in the relationship. I was doing those before you moved in.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I will say I do have moments though. Granted, we do try to trade off a little bit on the cooking.
Yeah.
Just because I do kind of have that moment, like I am capable of doing this.
Uh-huh.
And I do have that moment every once in a while where it's like, no, seriously, I can cook dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I can do more than make, hot dogs. Like,
And you do some lovely recipes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems to really aggravate you that it's like that I do that.
Well, it doesn't aggravate me. It's more so that's my thing.
Okay.
Where, like, your thing is like creating stickers and, taking care of clients and taking some time to get a nap in because I need you bright and puffy for a show, or, handling the laundry. That's your thing.
Yeah.
There is a routine and a balance in a relationship. There is a balancing of responsibilities in a relationship. A healthy relationship will have a wide balance. There are things that I don't have to worry about most times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what this one is learning is, no, you do your things in the relationship. They do theirs.
Well, but you also have to find some compromise there. Some people do feel mothered in different situations.
Right. But what's interesting is it's not the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought that he was saying.
No, these are her friends and her family. He tells me he appreciates it. And that I'm a little too good for him. He usually pays for food when we go out on dates or just eat out. He bought me some jewelry and some clothes as gifts, and he sometimes wants to cook for me, but I end up helping him with it. I know he loves me. I just worry about me doing something wrong.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, you're fine. You got nothing there. I was just saying, if someone comes back to you and says they're being mothered or smothered, because usually it's not the mothering that worries people as much as the smothering. Then you have, like, if your partner tells you, then this is something you've got to work on, or you've got to accept that maybe we're just not meant to be in this relationship. If it's other people or like, Teen Magazine, 17 Magazine, or, People Magazine or whatever,
Cosmo, honey.
newest,
Don't
latest
read
article.
Cosmo.
Cosmo, there you go. That's telling you that these are the things that drive your man away. Some men.
Yeah.
Some men not. Some men a couple of these things yes, a couple of these things no. Like it's all variable.
Right.
Because if nothing else, keep in mind there's whole articles devoted to women who are sick and tired of men wanting mothering instead of a relationship. So there's plenty of men out there. Because there are plenty of women who are like, fuck this shit.
Well, but
I'm not
the other
picking
side
up your
of that
underwear.
is learning the type of personality you are. Sorry, I think everyone knows that I'm a bitch when I have to be, but tend to be a papa bear and go, handle this, handle that, cook this, cook that. Organizational person. You, however, are very business executive. You have lovely verbiage. You can write me a poison pen email to send to customer service with the best of them. Yeah. So, would I prefer you going and cooking versus you getting the things that I need from you because you are able to do them faster? I'll cook dinner.
Well, and on that front, that's fine. But then there's also I enjoy cooking.
But I think it should be your choice to cook.
Well, I'm just saying though, that's what I'm saying is that's where the balance comes in. Is it's like I don't want to completely give that up because I enjoy doing it. It's a nice mental creative release. When the kitchen is clean and organized. That's the one thing I will say. I because we've run into that one. I
can cook in about any type of kitchen.
Yeah, it doesn't bug him at all. But when I go in there, and because this has happened before, because we've just gotten busy and crap's going on and things occur. And but I go in there and just everything is a disaster, and it's no, I don't want to cook. No,
yeah,
I'm done.
And I'm like, okay, get out of my way. Boom, boom, boom. Move the stack of clean dishes over here. Chop, chop, chop. Done.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I clean as I go. I typically keep a pretty clean kitchen while I'm cooking. And it's not that bad at the end. But if I have to start cooking by cleaning the kitchen, then I'm out.
Yeah.
My immediate impulse at that point is let me call a delivery service and order dinner while I clean the kitchen. And just there we go. Food is on the table. I did not make it. And the kitchen is clean. I did do that.
Right.
And I've been known to pull that one.
Right. Well, no, but that's my whole point with you is I handle the cooking. Even before we moved home, I handle the cooking unless you want to cook. If you want to cook, great, you cook. I hate doing dishes, but I'll do them.
Yeah. No, dishes, it's less that I hate doing them, it's that my back does not cooperate. Hi, can we please that's A1 on the list for the future house remodel or the future kitchen remodel is higher countertops.
Higher countertops, even a dishwasher. If we can get a Whirlpool that I like, you may have to go back to find a kitchen from the 70s because the best dishwasher I ever owned was the one that was at Princeton House.
No, that one wasn't even that old. Oh, good Lord. There were so many dishwashers that got mounted in that poor, unfortunate cabinet. Because it looked older. It wasn't older.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, but no. I think as long as we stick to the pre-rents, because I'm sorry, Cascade, you lie.
Well, Cascade
you have to pre-rents. You have to pre-rents. It is the fucking biggest lie on the planet. You don't have to pre-rents anymore.
Right.
Yes, you do.
I think an installed dishwasher instead of a portable one are better.
Oh yeah, no portable. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was the big problem. Is we had the
It
portable
doesn't have enough
because of
power.
space.
Right.
Yeah, no. You got to hard line that in. We've got to do the water line upgrade. Yeah.
All right, guys, we've reached the end of the night. We hope you've enjoyed our stories on our common sense behaviors. We will be back Thursday with coffee and tea. However, I do have a Mabon Live on Wednesday. That is a Zoom. It is not a publicly broadcast, so you do have to join the Zoom. It should be out somewhere on our pages. Be sure to join us, and we'll be discussing what Mabon is, which is gratitude. Until then, good night, y'all. You have an amazing night. Take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
Bye. Oh, Patreons.
Yeah, I was gonna say. All right, so of course we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Dottie the Psychic, Tracy Van, Donna White, and the Laughing Tree Grove. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too could become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can't whisper behind my back. You can't show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground.